I've always maintained that in any 5-car fantasy garage, next to the Lamborghinis and Porsches and Ariels and Ferraris and Bugattis and the like, there should be a humble bakkie. Now, if I had my choice, I'd take a Nissan 1400, but they don't make that anymore, so I have to find myself a new champ. We made our way to Clarence with the updated Ford Ranger. Despite the fact that the term facelift is a foreign concept to bakkies and their owners, it's been given new styling elements as well as some improved interior bits in an attempt to maintain its 25-year heritage as one of the world's most popular one-ton bakkies. Although I'm not sure the blingy bits will appeal to everyone, and there are some pieces that just don't make sense, like the little gills on the side. Those are best left to sports cars and Range Rovers. Still, with its cosmetically enhanced pieces, the Ranger does manage a good balance between, yes, I can get the job done, and no, I don't mind taking you out tonight. On the inside though, it never manages to feel anything more than workmanlike. Sure, the colours and the layout are decent, and at night it all lights up with a nice red glow, but with its hard plastics and 80s style gear shift, it's certainly not in danger of giving you the impression that it is anything but a bakkie. We've got the double cab version of the Ranger with its extra doors and rear seating, and while that might sound like a good idea on paper, it's not the most convenient thing in the world. The rear seat sits on top of the petrol tank, which means it's raised higher than the driver's seat, but the roofline is the same, and that causes a bit of a problem. Let me show you what I mean. Take an average height guy like me and get him into the front seat, no problem. Take the same average height guy like me and put him in the raised rear seat, and be sure to tell him not to smack his head as he gets in, or bash his knees either. Once your contortionist passengers are safely in the slightly small rear section, you can get behind the wheel and start up the generator. I mean, the engine. The 3-litre diesel may feature some fancy technology like a variable geometry turbo, but it's far from refined, especially when it's cold. Still, with 115 kilowatts and 318 newton meters from just 1800 RPM, it does have lots of low-down power. I've never met a bakkie that's so happy to spin its wheels on pull-off. That's assuming you're in two-wheel drive mode. The four-wheel drive system available in the Ranger is unchanged from the previous version, and that's not a bad thing considering how good the old one is. With electronic switching between high and low range and a lockable center diff, taking the Ranger off-road is about as easy as driving it on-road. And the on-road performance is fine, although it does have some very un-bakkie-like characteristics that take some getting used to. For starters, the ride setup is a lot firmer than you'd expect. And then there's the steering. It's not that it's too over-assisted or too vague or anything, in fact it feels just fine, but once you're through a corner, it centers itself incredibly quickly. If you aren't concentrating, you could lose a thumb or an entire hand as it merrily spins its way back into position. All in all though, the Ranger isn't a bad way to get yourself around town, and if you've got a load to carry, the box will fit a full ton of cargo, although that's the one thing that worries me about this thing. The Ranger has no problem getting off the line, as I've said, but once you're on the move, its progress is less than enthusiastic. The in-gear acceleration is seriously lacking. It's like this is an engine with a split personality. Gets off the line like a dragster on ethanol, and then overtakes like a lorry on bricks. I know it's not meant to be a speed machine, but given the initial impression of power, its lack of anything substantial when you're on the go is a bit disappointing. Still, the Ranger hasn't been so popular for so long without its strong points, and it certainly has those. I won't say I found the bakkie to park next to the Lamborghini in my fantasy garage, but the Ranger is as good off-road as it ever was, and the on-road performance is just fine, as long as you're not in any kind of hurry. And unless you absolutely have to carry more than one passenger, I'd stay away from the double cab version. Ford's 3-litre turbo diesel engine remains the pick of the Bucky bunch, with loads of torque and lugging power. Decent fuel consumption adds further appeal. The revised styling succeeds admirably, but rear occupants of this double cab may struggle to get in and out and will want more space once seated as well.